Micrometers are capable of taking measurements down to the 10,000ths of an inch. There are several types of micrometers, all with specific purposes, the most common being the outside micrometer, used for measuring external dimensions. Some of the other commonly used micrometers are the inside micrometer for measuring internal dimensions and the depth micrometer for taking depth measurements. We'll be focusing on proper measuring techniques using an outside micrometer. We'll start with the proper way to hold the micrometer. Our micrometer is held in a clamp for the purpose of this video, but in most cases you will hold a micrometer in one hand when you measure. Start out by wrapping your little finger around the C-shaped portion of the micrometer frame. Now use your thumb and forefinger to rotate the thimble. When you are close to making contact, use the ratchet mechanism to finalize the measurement. This ensures uniform pressure on the objects you are measuring, resulting in consistent measurements every time. If necessary, use the lock to hold the measurement in place. Like all precision measuring tools, it's important to make sure the contact points on the device are clean and free of all debris. Use a clean, lint-free cloth or a piece of paper, as seen here, to clean the contact points and ensure the micrometer scale reads 0 before you start to measure. A micrometer measurement is obtained by combining the readings from 3 scales. The largest scale, located on the sleeve, shows tenths of inches and increments of 25 thousandths between the tenths of inches. This reading is combined with our second scale on the thimble of the micrometer. To understand the purpose of the second scale, let's zoom in on the first scale and imagine we can see all 24 lines between 0 and 25 thousandths. The scale on the thimble essentially magnifies these increments and makes the tiny differences visible to the human eye. To obtain your measurement, add the reading from the second scale on the thimble to that from the first scale on the sleeve. For example, if your first scale reads 125 thousandths of an inch and your second scale reads 21 or 21 thousandths of an inch, your final measurement will be 125 thousandths plus 21 thousandths or 146 thousandths of an inch. If the number on your second scale does not align with the center line on the micrometer sleeve, you will need to refine your measurement down to the 10,000ths of an inch. To do this, you will use the vernier scale on the top of the sleeve. Now, we are looking at the top of the micrometer. This is the vernier scale, which ranges from 0 to 9/10,000ths of an inch. One of these marks will align with a mark on the top of the thimble scale. This is the correct reading. The reading on the vernier scale is simply added to the end of your measurement. For example, if your first scale reads 175 thousandths, your second scale shows 22 thousandths, and the 3 on your vernier scale is aligned, your final measurement will be 175 thousandths plus 22 thousandths plus 3 10,000ths, or 1,973 10,000ths of an inch. Next, we will look at some real measurements. Open the micrometer wide enough to place the object being measured between the spindle and anvil. Then proceed to close the spindle down on the object being measured. If so equipped, use the ratchet mechanism to close down the spindle. Here, our measurement is 559 thousandths of an inch. Let's try another example. Our first scale on the sleeve reads 550 thousandths of an inch, and the second scale reads 18 thousandths of an inch. So our measurement is 568 thousandths of an inch. This last example is a little different. Our measurement from the first scale is 675 thousandths, but our second scale reads between 13 thousandths and 14 thousandths. We'll need to refine the measurement using the vernier scale on the top of the micrometer. In this instance, the vernier scale read 7 or 7/10,000ths. So our final measurement is 6,887 10,000ths of an inch. Micrometers come in all shapes and sizes and are intended for many measuring purposes. This video covered the basic fundamentals of micrometers and common applications of their measuring capabilities. You now have a clear view